I am Kristen Bomas, and welcome to Struck by Enlightenment, where we are on a conscious journey to life mastery.
And today we're going to talk about manifestation. In this life, we are always manifesting. We are the creators of our life, of this life. And today we're going to talk about that. Where we are creating our dreams, where we are creating nightmares, and where we have created like a Groundhog's Day, where the same thing happens over and over and over again. So let's look at that. In this life, if we are always manifesting, then it seems logical that a lot of that manifestation is happening at a conscious or unconscious or subconscious level, because very little are we conscious of until we start to really step into living a life of manifestation. Most of what we manifest is at an unconscious or subconscious level. So we're operating at an energetic level when we manifest, and we're bringing it into the physical plane. So both your energy life and your physical life are equally important when we talk about this. So we really want to manifest our dreams. That comes from the love side of the equation, where we feel love, where we feel joy and freedom. Oftentimes we manifest experiences that are rather difficult, even traumatic, and that comes from the fear, the limitations, and the hesitations, the doubts of this lifetime. So in this life, we have both the energetic and the physical, and what bridges those two realms is your emotions. Your emotions are the language of your soul, and it bridges that intuition and brings it into the physical realm. So what if you manifest even before emotions, right? Your emotions are the energy. Even those we don't feel until they become feelings, but if we even manifest before that, that means we're manifesting before we even are of this existence, and indeed we are. So we have free will at all levels. We have it at the soulful level and at this level. And I don't know what the level is, but in those different existences. And that free will says that we are going to then have that opportunity to manifest anything we wish to manifest. Obviously, we are unconscious of what that manifestation was prior to this physical life. Our emotions are at a subconscious flow. We aren't necessarily aware of them, and it's a constant flow because it's energy. We may feel fear-based emotions, and that's where the soul feels limited, and so our experiences in this life will be limited. And then there are the love-based emotions where we feel greater freedom, and that's where the soul feels very energized and aware, and you're very comfortable and open. So those emotions exist, and we are manifesting from that. And then they're felt as feelings in this life, and we start to become aware of what we're manifesting then. We see that we have an experience in our life that brings up our fear or our discomfort in some way, and we want to know why that's there. And if we start to read the synchronicity in life, we know that at those times when we feel that kind of a feeling, it's speaking, life is speaking to us. It's telling us that we are manifesting from a fear that needs to be healed in order to redirect the manifestation. So this life is about those challenges, right? And those challenges are a part of the experience that you're here to have. But you always have free will, so you can always recreate the story of your life. That's manifestation. How do you want the next chapter to open? How do you want to close out this chapter? How do you want to write your story? Once it's part of the physical storyline, it's already been a part of the soulful intent and the emotional intent, and it's now on the physical realm. So we want to look at the three aspects of, not three aspects, the three ways that it shows at the end, right? So where do I feel that I'm manifesting my dream? That's what most people want to talk about when they talk about manifestation, is to manifest the dream, to manifest the freedom in life, to manifest the comforts of life. And yet we have these discomforts. So when we are manifesting and talking about manifestation, we are also talking about healing, because where we're manifesting the challenges, those are in life with purpose and by design, your design. So it's time to say, okay, if I have manifested this challenge, then it's here with the purpose of me mastering it or not, right? That's free will. And if I master it, then I can manifest something wonderful that I really wish to have now that I'm on this plane. So it's not that you just ignore, thwart, and get away from what was. you have to understand that that was also part of your manifestation at some level. So you want to look at that, heal that, and transcend it so that you can manifest what you would like to replace it with. In other words, what you would really like to be experiencing instead of what you are experiencing that you don't like. So that means that nothing in this life is a bad experience. It's all part of your healing. It's all part of moving forward. So what happens when we start to see the same thing happening over and over and over and over again, right? Like people all the time, they say, oh my God, I think I've met this great person to date, and it's exactly like the last person I dated. There's the same dynamics, the same challenges, the same whatevers. Well, that's like a Groundhog's Day, right? You wake up every day, some things are very predictable. In fact, we literally do live a type of Groundhog's Day. Every day we wake up and everything seems exactly the same, right? We wake up and we come to work, or we go here, or we go there, and everything is fairly predictable. We know that it's going to be this, that, or the other. And that's because we are manifesting that constancy, right? And you like that predictability. We hear that life is a constant state of change, but we are fearful of change, and so we manifest the absence of change. An example: an infant between 0 and almost 3, we'll say 2.5 years of age, they don't know that anything exists outside what they can see. So every time their view changes, the whole world changes, right? And in your first days of life, your vision is only 8 inches of depth, not even depth, of distance. So if you can imagine, you've got 8 inches of distance, and that's all that exists. So as you come into this realm, everything is in a constant state of change. Then with fear, we learn to hold that steady, right? And we call that intellect, right? As we grow, we start to realize that things remain constant, which gives us the feeling of permanence. There is no such thing as permanence, only impermanence. So when we think about manifestation, we have to understand we're holding things steady and in place. So now when we talk about things being like a Groundhog's Day, what we're looking at is there's a challenge that maybe we aren't letting go of, or maybe there's a comfort in the predictability, so we're manifesting it over and over again. And that's why oftentimes I'll ask people with whom I work, how does it serve you to have this pattern? Well, it doesn't serve me. But it does at some level. So let's look inside and see how it does. What's the wish beyond? Because the wish that's keeping it alive is why you keep manifesting over and over and over again. It is very important to start to see that all 3 aspects are part of your manifestation. Some people have had trauma in their past. It could have been in their childhood, which is very, very prevalent these days, or it could be just a traumatic incident. But trauma says that the person feels terrified in some way of their own life or someone else's. And that absence of safety really resurrects a whole series of fears inside, limitations, anxieties, depression, things like that that really kind of limit them. And so you may want to say, like, why would I ever want to manifest trauma in my life? Well, the answer is, at that level, then it seems kind of silly. But what if you manifested that trauma at a higher level for you to master a lot at once? Maybe that trauma in your life is for you to really get through a lot in this life at once. And if the trauma is affecting you, remember, you also can start to work to manifest life beyond the trauma. And that does happen. I see it happen every single day in my office and in my life. So let's look at where we can manifest to move things in a direction of greater freedom. In order to do so, you must also be aware that why it's there in the first place is for you to master or be aware of the challenge that evoked the manifestation of a not so exciting time. So I've kind of given you kind of everything in a nutshell. But I'm imagining that there is a piece lingering that says, okay, so this trauma happens and explain more. The soul comes into this physical existence of a human being with its own purpose. It wants to have an experience. So there is a manifestation from the soul to create this. And in that experience, it's going to also manifest some key pieces, right? We also know that that soul or that higher self is always active in this lifetime. So you are always manifesting at a higher frequency, higher energy, the higher self, the soulful level, and you're manifesting on the physical. The more you start to master on the physical, the more you're in connection with that higher purpose of you. And the more that connection starts to happen, the more you direct your manifestation and you can see things happening. And the more connected that is, the more the time disappears out of the puzzle. We perceive time on this plane. Soul does not perceive time. And so when we manifest, we keep thinking that it's us, that we did this, right? But what was happening before that created the manifestation? Could be at a soulful level, could be at a previous level. When I was in 6th grade, I was in a special class. It was an architecture class. And in that class, we designed a home. I designed a home. I don't know what everybody else designed. I don't remember if we were given the option or what, but I designed a home. And in that home, at the end of the course, I had to draw me in the house somewhere. And I drew me in the foyer, walking out the front door with a briefcase. And here I am today. I own my own home. I walk out the door every afternoon or every morning. I wish I walked out in the afternoon. I walk out every morning to come to my office with a briefcase. And so we manifest at that level. I didn't maybe manifest that yesterday, but I certainly started manifesting that at 6 years of age. You can see how it all plays out. And there are other aspects to that storyline that also are manifested in my life today that I can see. So it doesn't always have the timeline that you think it's going to have. It could be that it's something you have been manifesting since childhood. It could be something that was manifested soulfully before you even entered. But whatever it is, today you have the choice of what you wish to manifest going forward. So manifestation is a very, very powerful part of your life. And for many of us who have worked mastery, we start to live in a state of manifestation where we ask ourselves, why is this in my life? What is its purpose? And what can I gain? What benefits can I reap from that challenge so that I can then use that to manifest a more pure, joyous experience? We all have that option, right? That's our free will. So, in this life, you see and feel and you move about. Start there. Start with being aware of what you're experiencing in the here and now. What works for you, what doesn't work for you, what you would like to enhance, what you would like to dissipate. And then work your way back. See where you're at. What is it about? If it's a challenge, do what you can to break apart that challenge. And I have that one book on Amazon called Stop Judging Yourself, but it's really about the 6 steps to breaking apart old beliefs that are keeping you in that rhythm. In order to truly understand manifestation and how it is in your life, start with where you are now, physically. What works for you? What are you enjoying? What is not working for you? What isn't working? What's not comfortable, right? And then kind of work your way back, so to speak, to the soulful level. Look at what isn't working for you. Ask where it came from. If it came from this physical life, go back to that time and give yourself the opportunity to unravel that challenge. This is where my book, Stop Judging Yourself, is a real helpful piece. It's a little book. It's very quick read, but it walks you through nailing down the old belief and starting to dismantle it. Once you dismantle these old beliefs and these old patterns in your life that are limiting you, you open gateways and doors to manifesting great freedom and fun, right? So don't be shy about looking at where it came from in this physical life, and then doing what needs to be done to master it, to release it, to transcend it, so that you have a greater opportunity to manifest that which you wish to experience. When you start to go all the way back, sometimes you feel that things have been in your life this whole time. What's its purpose on this plane? Now you're looking at the soulful manifestation. Why might it be here? What is it about? And what can I do soulfully to start to manifest a greater freedom in this existence? You're always a soul. The soulful self is always active. Your higher self is always active. So it's not so far-fetched. It's just that right now it's happening at an unconscious level. The more you start to master your challenges and the more you start to step into this life of manifestation, the more you start to work in harmony and unity with your higher self or your soulful self. You are always manifesting. It's just that most of it is unconscious or subconscious. So how do you bring the subconscious, unconscious aspects into a more conscious form of manifesting? Simply put, you become aware of where in this physical life things aren't real comfortable and you don't like what's happening. Maybe it's even a traumatic situation. You become aware of where things are more like a Groundhog's Day and happening over and over and over in a pattern that you really don't want anymore. And of course, you're aware of those things in life that are so joyous and that you're so grateful for. On the first two that I described, they give you the opportunity to heal the challenges of this life, which is part of your purpose. And as you look at that, you transcend that purpose, those challenges, and you move further into a more conscious awareness of manifesting the life you wish to have on this plane. Everything in your life is with purpose, but everything is anchored in free will. And the law of attraction, which says that which I put out comes back, is also and always. So if I'm in fear or I don't believe I can have, that's what's going out and that's what's coming back. So it becomes really important that we are aware that we are always manifesting, because it's at that point that we become more aware of what it is we are feeling, what we are intending through our fears or our loves and joys of life, because that is what we are sending out and that is what we then manifest in our own life. So to all of you, look at where your happiness is and look at where your challenges are. And know that the more you master those challenges and the more you sit within that awareness that you can make the choice to change the way your life flows, and you will understand the importance of mastering those challenges that you are manifesting over and over, that you don't wish to manifest any longer. So I wish all of you a life filled with great dreams coming true. And may all of you find it inside yourself to manifest transcendence of the challenges. Thank you so much for joining me. We will be looking at other aspects of manifestation as we go forward. So please join me in the near future for many more aspects to manifestation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining me, and please visit KristenBomas.com, where you can easily access all of my social circles.